everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is flashcards. We've all used them to study, but are we really using them in the most effective way? I'm going to show you how I've tightened up my flashcard routine, tell you about a little bit what I used to do and what I've changed and what I do now, and how it has changed my study game. Let's get into it. The flashcard. What even is it? We've all had stacks and stacks of these bad boys, and let me tell you, I have wasted so much time going through tons and tons of flashcards. The idea behind a flashcard, if you've never used one before, is you put one idea, usually a main idea, on one side, and then you put supporting details or a definition on the other side. I think a lot of maybe middle school, high school teachers might teach you to use them for like vocabulary. Now, flashcards can be a great study tool, and I have always encouraged my students to use them as well. However, it becomes a waste of time when you put every piece of information on these bad boys. What do I mean by that? We should be studying our material before we make the flashcards, because I guarantee you already know a lot because you're smart. Now, I guarantee you that the average person has spent hours and hours and hours making tons and tons and tons of flashcards. Sorry, my dogs keep bumping my tripod. We've all seen people who have stacks and stacks and stacks of these. I remember specifically there was an episode of The Sweet Life on deck that Cody brought in all of his flashcards, and they were just mountainous flashcards. Cody was already a smart student, and I guarantee you he did not need all of those flashcards. Why are we going to bother wasting our time studying material that we're confident that we know? The answer is we're not. Not this way, okay? So let me show you how I set up my flashcards. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what I put on my flashcards. Please don't mind my nails. I'm getting them filled very soon. For me, I study my material before I make the flashcards. The reason is I don't want to waste my time making flashcards for things that I'm confident I know. If I know it, I know it, and I can move on to do something more productive with that information, such as taking practice tests. I want to be able to practice applying that information. I'm less concerned with memorizing and saving that for things that I don't really know yet. The almighty flashcard. So high school Teresa would write down all of her vocabulary words, put a definition on the back, and she would spend hours and hours and hours going through it. But she'd also spend hours and hours and hours creating these when some of them I already knew. So college Teresa decided, okay, I don't have to make flashcards for things I already know. Like I said before, if it's a concept we already know, we're going to practice applying it, not memorizing it. For nursing school, we want to practice applying those concepts with, say, case studies or practice questions or practice tests. You don't want to continue to just memorize something that you already know because you already have it memorized. I apologize for my handwriting. I thought it would get better as a teacher, and it does not work that way. Old Teresa might write, what is the range within normal limits for potassium? And I'm going to write the symbol K+. Old Teresa would say, okay, go ahead and put the range. It's 3.5 to 5 MEQ per liter. I know that's going to be on the test. And potassium is something I specifically pay attention to because my clinical right now is on a cardiac floor. So potassium is really, really, really important. College Teresa says, oh my God, that was just a big waste of time. Okay. And I can rip up flashcards because I have the strength of a mouse apparently. Yeah, not helpful because I already knew what that was without looking it up. Okay, it took me 10, 15 seconds to write that flashcard. Add up all of those 10 and 15 seconds that you spend writing flashcards for things you already know. You've just wasted hours and hours and hours. Go ahead and write down things that you don't know. I'm going to go on a brief tangent and I'm going to change topics of what I'm making flashcards for. For something like potassium imbalance or electrolyte imbalances in general, I probably would not study the full concept with only flashcards. I would probably start with flashcards for things I'm just having a hard time remembering because there's a lot that goes into fluid and electrolytes. I would make a graphic organizer, which we can talk about in another video. Back to flashcards. College Teresa might put potassium, and I know that it's K+, but I put it there because it's just another little friendly reminder that I could see it either way on the test. And I'm going to put down risk factors, because a lot of risk factors overlap for electrolyte imbalances, but I found it's a trend in my professor's PowerPoints that she talks about medications and then tests us on it. And that's something that I didn't do as well on my previous test. So that's something I'm going to want to pay a little more attention to because she's bound to test us similarly. I want to put a limited amount of information. If I write myself a novel on the back of this card, I'm never going to remember any of it. That's just too much. Keep it simple. Down here, I'm going to put meds. I'm pretty aware of the risk factors because I have clinical on a cardiac floor and we talk about them often, but I always want to go back, and it's really important to get medications correct. Maybe if I focus on some of them now, hopefully it'll help me out in pharmacology down the road, but I don't know. I'm not there yet. So on this side, we want to focus on risk factors that have to do with medications and potassium. We have potassium sparing diuretics. An example of this, I always say it wrong, spironolactone. And then we also need to pay attention to ACE inhibitors and NSAIDs. That's all I'm going to put on this card. I personally try not to put more than 5 points. That's an absolute limit on the back of a flashcard. Otherwise, it's just too long. So this is one flashcard. Also notice I refrain from using colors. I do like colors. However, people tend to color code. For example, they tend to color code each concept that they put on their flashcards. So if this is is this really blue too? I guess we're sticking with blue. I thought it would be black. Well, then I can just use the other pen that works better. Potassium. Maybe some people would put that symbol in a different color and then say we're going to put, I'm not prepared with colors. We're going to put risk factors in red because they're risky. And I'm going to put medications down there. And then I would turn my card over and maybe put all medications written in purple, etc. Here's the deal. And this is why I don't like to do colors on my flashcards. If you're a visual learner, maybe this is a good trick for you. If you are not, I suggest you don't do it. And here's why. When you take a test, your test is not color coded. Your test is going to be in black and white unless there's a picture, then maybe you'll get lucky and get some color. There's nothing worse than a black and white test with black and white pictures and you can't see what you're supposed to be looking at. Anyways, this is how my brain works. Maybe yours works similarly, but my brain will frantically look for the colors. Oh, there's no green meds, there's no purple options. Oh, so this doesn't work for me. Everything's gonna be in black and white, so I don't color code my flashcards. Now, I might color code how I highlight things in my notes. I might color code a graphic organizer. Never my flashcards. My flashcards are always in blue or black. Text always matches. So that's how I do my flashcards. How do I organize them? These are all of my flashcards from my previous test. That's it, not that many. I think I just saw some red on there. Oh, pink. Oh, because it was an example, so I put it differently. But usually I don't do that. I must have been feeling really colorful that day. So there's maybe 20 flashcards here for probably less than that. I don't know. I'm not going to count them here. But there's not that many, right? It's not a whole stack. And I think I had even less for the previous test. I might have had 6 for my first test. So put all of those together from my first 2 tests and this one, I might end up with maybe 50 flashcards. And that's for 75% of this course. These are a great indicator of the concepts that I should hit first when I start studying for my final. It's important that you keep them all together. There's 2 ways that I like to do it. You could take a single hole punch, put a hole in these, and stick them on a binder ring. I have found I am way too rough with my stuff. They fall apart and then I have to waste my time making new flashcards. New solution, take a binder clip. Clip them together. Your flashcards are gonna stay together with the clip and then these just pull open and go right on. So now I can attach them to literally anything. I've attached them to the inside of my purse before if I only wanted to bring flashcards. So for example, if I go get a pedicure, I might just bring flashcards. Not this week's because I don't have any made yet for this unit because I'm not done studying the material. You can also just stick this ring right into your class binder. And if you have a break from class or waiting for your friend to study, you can go ahead and just pull these bad boys out. They're always with your stuff. So yeah, this is how I do my flashcards. I just want to caution against doing too many because you're just never going to get through them all. When you're in school, especially for nursing school, your time is so precious and valuable, and there is so much information. Study smarter, not harder. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. I will definitely take a look at them, and if you want more specifics, I'll make a part 2. It is day 1 of spring break for me, and I'm not gonna lie, my brain is kind of off on vacation land, and so thinking about studying is really difficult right now, but it's kind of put me in the mood to go through some of my materials now that I've talked about it, which I really need to do. So if you like this video or you have more burning questions about flashcards or how I study for other things for nursing school, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. We're gonna put on these, excuse me, take 2. We're going to put material that we have. Take 3. Let me amend what I said before. Now you want to play? This is probably not the greatest concept for me to be making flashcards for. That we have a hard time. Well, you know what? I'll make a different video. Now, and like with, I guarantee you.